So now that I've broken down a lot of the basics of character design, right? The shapes, the rhythm, straight against curve, a variety of shapes, and the silhouette and stuff like that, I want to talk about the importance of reference and how vital reference is to your character design. It's pretty obvious when people draw from their heads, and I see it happen so much. It's kind of like a lazy way of designing, where if I give an assignment and a student turns it in and it's kind of just generic, it's just kind of bland, but it's like got these cool looking shapes, it's because the student didn't take time to do the homework, to search reference and to look for the specifics of what it is that's making a character feel like an actual character. And why are you, when you meet someone, why do you feel that way for them? What is it about them that you feel the way that you're feeling? The key to getting from generic to authentic is reference, and there's no other way around that. It's the truth. Whenever you feel like your characters don't have life, it's because you're not getting enough reference and you're not drawing from it enough. And if you are getting reference and they still feel generic, it's because you're not paying attention to what the reference is showing you. It forces you to observe from life. That's where you're going to get all your character from observing from life. It's how we deal with our characters at Pixar when we search for how do we make it not just look like a cool shape, but we actually wanted to feel like somebody. Look at Carl, which I used in my example for this class. You look at him, he's super stylized. Yeah, he's a square head and square fingers, but when you look at that guy, he feels like a real old person, even though he's that pushed. He's not just a cool square head. He's an old, authentic person. And that's because I know that they did a ton of reference for that guy. And not just from pictures and photo reference on Google and stuff like that, but it was a lot of acting. They looked at a lot of actors as well, of old guys, and watch how they acted. And they captured that in Carl. There's a lot of times when you get stuck designing, and a lot of that happens because, you've kind of run flat with what's happening in your mind. And that's why reference is great for inspiration. You can see something in a photo and be like, oh, that's great. I didn't think of that. That's what I want to do. I'm going to use that in my design. So reference is definitely great for inspiration. To me, for reference, the more the better. You can never have enough. It forces you to just keep getting more and more reference and to keep seeing and observing. The more reference you get, the more observing you're going to do. At a certain point, you're going to want to put away the reference and start to begin your design. You don't want to stick too closely to it, because if you do, then you're still going to get tight. Your reference is going to hold you back. So it's great to be inspired by it, take your notes from it, and then put it away. And then start actually applying those basics of design that I was talking about earlier, the shape, the rhythm, the silhouette, that the straights against curve. That's when you start bringing that stuff in. But in order to get authenticity, you need to have that reference. But at a certain point, it's got to be put away so you don't stick too closely to it, because you don't want to just copy reference, right? You want to insert your own design into it. So observing from life. Here's kind of this assignment for this first lesson. And this is a really fun way to learn acting and posing and character. So what I want you to do is take a video clip from YouTube.com and take 6 screen captures of the same character in different poses. So it could be anything. It could be the character reacting to a funny joke, or a person showing some type of emotion. I don't want just action poses where it's just there's no real character, it's just running. But maybe something where there's actual expression. There's if let's say someone's recording themselves to a reaction to tasting a food for the first time, and it'd be great to get that reaction captured in a caricature. So what I want you to do is take those 6 screen captures and capture the caricature the poses, the 6 of them. And right now at this point, I wouldn't worry about the whole entire body. I'll only draw from the waist up for now. So like that, you're not worried about too much at one time. If for some of you, this may be your first time doing something like this, but this is a really fun way to learn and to start applying this stuff into your character design. And you'll see how this stuff can relate. Once you've observed from life, then you can relate it to your character, your designs, and you'll be amazed at how you're able to pull from life and start applying this stuff to your actual characters. So what I've done is these are 6 screen captures I got from this hilarious prank video that I found on YouTube. It's of a dinosaur. Some of you may have seen this, but it's from a dinosaur Japanese prank, and they just record reactions, and I love it. It's hilarious. So I'm gonna show you guys the video real quick, and then you guys can and then I'll show you the screen captures I took.
右足を出して左足立つと歩けるということを証明しながら無防備に廊下を進む。最後はお約束。恐竜が来たら逃げる。
So these are the 6 screen captures that I got from that video, and some of them are really blurry, but that's okay because all I'm looking for really is the gesture. Expression-wise, I'm able to get it from some of the other photos. I get a sense of what that face is doing, but I'm looking for gesture right now at this point, and gesture and facial expressions. That's my main thing when I'm observing this live. So what I want to do now is show you how I would actually caricature this person, and how I can apply this later to, like, let's say my design's an ape or something, right? A totally different shape. I can still take this gesture and these expressions and apply it to any character that I want. So now let's move out of this. Let's move out of the slideshow thing, and I'm gonna open up Photoshop and start, caricaturing these poses here. I run it usually at 150 when I'm doing demos because I don't want to slow the machine down too much. I want to make sure it stays pretty fluid. Okay, so the first thing I start doing is I'll just take like a whatever brush I have, doesn't matter. It's all about the drawings and the art anyways. But I'm looking at the first one right here, this one on the left, okay? And I'm just going to go through that and just draw a variety of, too thick of a line, a variety of different, facial shapes and just trying to caricature that. And I'm not trying to make it look like that person too much at this point because all I care about is the reference of the pose. It's just, to me, it's more important to capture that feeling of what that person's thinking. And right now there's not a lot of emotion here, but that's a great contrast to this. So I want to be able to draw the two contrasting shapes together. One thing I'm noticing as I did that is I noticed this eyebrow is a little higher. And this little stuff is what helps you think of more specific things. You got to pay attention to that kind of stuff. See? So there's a little bit of the bottom teeth showing, even as blurry that this image is. I can still see like little keys like that, because that's little things like that help sell that character. And one thing I'm noticing is his chin's a lot lower than where I placed that bottom of the mouth. All right, yeah. So I'm just trying to capture the feeling of that guy's pose, and not be too too careful with the details. It's all about being rough right now and just seeing what it is that makes this guy look like what he does and feel like. So now I'm looking at that drawing, I'm thinking, maybe I drew that. I don't need that line. I don't need this line. So he is a little bit of a bigger kind of guy.